All right, guys, welcome to the Multiverse Minute on the Goodell Universe, or Multiverse, sorry about that. And this year, guys, we got 3 really good things to talk with you about today. Quick ones, to be honest with you. There's not much to say on either of these, but we do have a few minutes that we're going to talk Mortal Kombat when we get towards the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off real quick for news of the week. Let's see what we got here. So IMAX proves to still be king as Marvel Studios secures IMAX screens to the Doomsday sequel coming out in December 2027. So, Sammy, what's your thoughts about this?
All right. Yeah. Well, when that news broke, which was shortly after our last episode that we recorded, that was it was kind of funny. It coincided with the IMAX CFO Natasha Fernandez, because she recently came out criticizing Marvel and Disney in particular, not Marvel, for their Vision was Infinity Vision
Mm,
formatting. And I had to write down her exact quote because it was literally at the same time that it was announced that Avengers Secret Wars has secured these IMAX screens, which they wanted for Doomsday, but then Doom 3 picked up 3 consecutive weekends in a
yeah.
row and they opened up the same time. So, of course, that was a hot topic for a while of is Doomsday going to move its date then or something else going to happen? And something else happened. But part of me is just a little I was curious how long this would actually last, this Infinity Vision branding that they're doing because they're not doing anything new.
Right.
They're just finding select theaters that have select um additional enhanced options like the D-box seats at Cinemark or whatever the one that Regal has. I don't know on the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
40X.
40X. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I think they're just gonna find those special seats that certain companies have, and they're gonna say this is an Infinity Vision thing, just for a branding thing. I get why they're doing it. They want to make your Doomsday experience still feel special, since you don't have the IMAX opportunity at least for 3 weeks. Um, but the IMAX CFO, she said, um, part of her post, I would say, or what she has said spokenly about it, is that, Marvel fans, we believe that they're among the savviest, most discerning moviegoers out there. There's a reason why we're the undisputed leader in premium cinema worldwide. No one can match our relationship with filmmakers. And I really do think, I know that she's doing her job and promoting her brand and everything, but anyone who goes to a movie for an IMAX experience, you definitely get something special. Like this is a company that's tailored themselves to making the movie going experience as unique as possible than just your standard 2D format and
Mm,
things like that. And everything still looks good in 2D, so I'm not dissing any of your local small theaters that like we have a local one in Warsaw, New York that you don't have some of these extra special enhanced features and they do a great job and I always try to support local as much as we can because those theaters seem to be going away a little bit. But for experiences like Doomsday and things like that, I want to see them and make this a huge experience you can't forget type
mm.
thing. So my thoughts are exactly what you read there, that IMAX still proves they're the king when it comes to some of this stuff. And unless Disney decides in 2027 to continue with this Infinity Vision branding and actually do something to literally rival IMAX, I don't feel like Infinity Vision is going to last too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I have similar thoughts. I actually, when I read into this and think about it more, I think to myself, what is this that Disney's trying to do? Because it isn't anything new. It's they're using existing already theaters and existing material and existing experiences to just put a label on it. And it just it puts that as much as a Marvel fan as I am, and this is why we do this, guys, is because we love these movies. So I don't want to diss Disney too much, but I got to be honest. This Infinity Vision thing makes me feel like they're kind of the bullies on the block. Where if you're going to do something to have this kind of branding, then you need to come up with something different. Because IMAX is here to stay, man. Like
Hmm.
it was something that was created to be that way.
Hmm.
There's too many good filmmakers out there that like using IMAX. Christopher Nolan actually invented a new camera to do the new Odyssey movie as an IMAX camera. The entire movie of the Odyssey is filmed in complete IMAX.
Mhm.
The problem with IMAX cameras is that they're big and they're loud, so you couldn't do a lot of close-up shots of someone's face. So he went and they invented a new camera that was quiet, that was still IMAX, that was still an IMAX camera. So once again, Nolan does this thing where you go see his movie and you're seeing for multiple times he's done this in his films. This is probably at least the fourth or fifth one I can think of where he's done something you've never seen done on film before, which is what makes him such a unique filmmaker.
Mhm.
Everyone talks Stanley Kubrick's the best. You wait till Nolan's done. Wait till 20 movies when Nolan's done, and you realize the feats that he went to make his movies happen. Go see the Odyssey, guys. The movie is going to be amazing. I hope it makes some money, but that's a great example, though. I mean, he literally invented a camera in order to be an IMAX camera.
Mhm.
They're not going to do this for Infinity Vision. It's because Infinity Vision is essentially IMAX,
Mhm.
just with their name on it now.
Well, it's
Really?
the thing is they're not even IMAX. They
Right, they're
can't
not.
use
They're
the
just you're
screens.
right. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you
They're
know,
just extra things, right? Like,
what I'm curious about, and I haven't looked this up, but please go to the comment section, guys, and tell me if this is something that's actually happened. Because Marvel movies, they have been, for the most part, being filmed in IMAX cameras
yeah.
because they're expecting to get the IMAX screening and they want to make sure they're prepared for that experience. I wonder if Doomsday was filmed for IMAX and this. I feel like they would be butthurt because of the deal that they had with Dune getting the 3 weekends in a row the same time and they're Disney's like, "We poured all this money into IMAX cameras, and we can't even get it on an IMAX screen." I
Well,
wonder if this is just part of their retaliation to be like, "Look, we just spent money for your branding that you're now not gonna let us at least divide and conquer for the screens." So
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think this is just their petty way of being about that. And sorry, Disney, I'm going to say this to you, but this is the competition you're up against.
mhm,
Say what you want about Dune. I know it's a little slower for some people. They are really good though. And people that love that sci-fi stuff like that, that's done in that IMAX, they want to see it. And I am of the belief that there are certain movies that are made for IMAX screens. Like obviously they make them for the IMAX screen, but there are movies that are told best in that screen
mhm,
or in that kind of format. And Dune is one of them. Watching Dune at home on a small TV, guys, frankly, is kind of boring. And not in a bad way, but it's like, okay, this looks good, this is cool. But when you're immersed in the IMAX film itself, it's great. Another great example is F1 this you watched it. We watched it here at home on a big screen, loud sound. It was
mhm,
great, looked great. But I saw it in IMAX 3 times. And boy, when you watch that in IMAX, what a different experience. That's one of those movies, if they ever come out again in IMAX, I would encourage you to come with me and watch it again because you've seen it, but trust me, when you see them racing in IMAX, you feel the wind, even though there's no wind, you know?
mhm,
And I gotta tell you, if they're talking about D-Box and 4DX being these things that's gonna help with that, I made the big mistake of going to see the last Mission Impossible movie in 4DX. I'm not a fan of 4DX.
mhm,
It distracted me.
mhm.
First of all, I didn't realize what was gonna happen. There wasn't a lot of disclaimer to, "Hey, by the way, when you're in here, it's like a ride." I mean, they kinda talk like that when you see the advertisements, but what kind of ride is a movie theater, right? Oh, no, these seats lift off the ground, and, like, every move, they jerk and pull, and at one point, I'm like, "This is kinda fun, and it's unique, and there's water comes down when there's something wet." There's interesting stuff in it, but it really did not immerse me into the movie like an IMAX movie does. When we went and saw Fantastic Four, that was perfect. The seat moved a little, there's some vibration.
Mhm.
It's like you felt like you were involved in it, but it didn't make you feel like you were being pushed around.
Yeah.
And the Mission Impossible one was more like a universal ride than it was an actual sitting and watching a movie, which sucks because the movie's fantastic. Because I went and watched it again without all the special bells and whistles, and it's an amazing movie.
Mhm,
I just wished I'd watched it first without that, you know?
mhm,
So if that's what they're counting on, then I don't need those things for these movies to be good. Heck, we saw Avengers Infinity War in our own little local theater downtown. The
mhm.
sound wasn't that good. The place was falling apart, and we loved it.
Yeah.
Where did we go to see it again? To an IMAX
We went to
screen,
IMAX. The only
and it was amazing.
it looked great, but I'll be honest, we saw it in IMAX 3D,
Yeah, 3D doesn't really help much.
and I this is just me personally, when I've chosen now to not watch those 3D movies unless I have to, because if I didn't watch Infinity War in our local theater, when I went to see it, I was like, "Oh my brain was like, I can't comprehend some of the movements they're
Yeah, no,
doing."
I
But
understand.
if we see it in
It's rough,
the
yeah.
standard version of IMAX, I'm sure that's gonna be
Mhm,
magnificent.
mhm. And that's kinda, and the IMAX serves these superhero movies because 'cause they're big and spectacle. I've always been of the opinion there's some movies you see in theaters and there's some movies you don't. There's a lot of movies I watch, I'm like, "That didn't need to be seen in the theater." There's movies I watch, I'm like, "Man, I wish I saw that in the theater," because it's just how big it is. The problem Marvel or not Marvel, I'm sorry, but Disney's looking at here is it does feel like you're just pushing the competition around,
Mhm,
and you're creating competition that, frankly, what what is it that you're going to offer that makes us feel like this new thing is better than what we've already had for a while? If IMAX was newer and they were just in a race to see who gets the most popular, I could see there being a competition going on about these theaters doing these extra things. But IMAX has been around for quite a while now. I mean, back when Blu-ray and 4DX were having their fight against who's going to be, or not 4DX, but the
Ultra
what's
HD or
Ultra
something.
HD, that's right.
Yeah,
When they were gonna have their fight
which
about who's
we
gonna
don't
be
hear
on
about
top.
anymore.
Right. Yeah, look who clearly won, but they come out right around the same time.
Mhm,
There was a clear competition of a grab to see who's gonna get more interest. Blu-ray just kicked the butt, even
mhm.
today you can still buy some Blu-ray. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
physical
yeah.
media is going out the window, which is I think it's a shame because hey, when the power's out and there's no internet, what do you got, y'all? Just saying, all these subscription stuff that you have, you pay for these movies and stuff. What if they have a licensing issue or they sell to somebody and that thing that you bought on a thing is now not yours anymore, but you had already paid to keep it? Oh no, I'll keep my DVDs and put it in whatever I want.
Mhm.
But that's just my opinion on that. I'm not saying that streaming hasn't been amazing and you have all these options and yes, use it. But I don't think we should walk away from physical media.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
IMAX has just been around for way too long and has had its footprint way too well on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like the Avatar movies, but those are all going to be IMAX and they're huge and they're making all the money. And James Cameron loves using that too.
Mhm,
So you're talking about a lot of very large, influential filmmakers and studios that they're already kind of embedded into this IMAX idea.
mhm,
The only thing you're going to get out of this Disney, this vision thing you're going to get is the new people. Is anyone new that thinks it's cool to have that on it, label on it? Because right now you're just, what are you really offering? I just don't see it. I see it as another power move.
mhm.
Like, do you need to own anything more?
Yeah.
It's like, guys, slow
And
it down.
that's
Like,
the thing, they don't own it. That's
you're right. It's
it's
just the
it's a complete
recognition.
marketing play as,
Yeah,
that, IMAX CFO said it is a marketing play because even Disney admitted, "We're not building anything new. We're not
yeah,
redoing the movie in a certain way that it looks better on these screens." They're literally just putting a little stamp of their personal their personal approval on the
yeah.
special select screens. Guys, if they take off this Infinity Vision label, you're still gonna get those seats filled.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For
Like,
both these movies, for
yeah,
Dune and for
yeah. Well, for Doomsday, even with all this that's coming out about Dune having and owning, securing all the IMAX screens for 3 consecutive weeks,
mhm.
I don't even know if they've even mentioned is week 4 is Doomsday going to be on that? It probably is, for all we know. I don't know. I didn't look that up. Please tell me in the comments, guys. But like, There even with all that happening, all the movie industry insiders say that Doomsday will be the number 1 movie of
Oh,
the year. So it's almost like, do you need Infinity
yeah,
Vision at all to succeed? And I'm not saying that it's a done deal because, something crazy could happen and Doomsday be overtaken by Dune 3. Who knows? Or something else. Who knows? There's more movies coming out this year, guys. They all look really cool. But like I agree with you. I feel like this is kinda like a bully play.
it feels that
I'm
way.
sorry, Disney, but frankly, Disney, if you really wanted to rival IMAX, you would actually be building something. You
Yeah,
would
yeah,
actually be trying to reach out to maybe these small business owners that are struggling with your movies anyways, because from my understanding,
mhm,
playing a Disney movie in a small, locally owned movie theater, they don't get as much money as they do from other studios because
right.
Disney they're kind of greedy when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if there's a way you could partner up with some of them to be like, hey, we're gonna help enhance your studio, or I'm sorry, your theater chain or your theater,
right.
and then slap something like this on it. Oh, cool. That means you're contributing to the small businesses out there that are struggling to survive anyways in these big conglomerate type entities that are out there. But you're not doing that. So
Yeah, and you don't gotta worry. Everyone's gonna go see your movie, guys. Like
exactly.
this is Doomsday. This is Doctor Doom. Number one, that puts butts in seats.
Yep.
You got everyone coming back. You got the old X-Men coming back. You got Robert Downey Jr. coming back. You got Captain America coming back. I mean, you guys, you could have the worst movie in the world, and you're still gonna make $1 billion.
Oh, yes.
It's but you're not gonna take the fans away from Dune either. No matter what you do, no matter how awesome and colorful you make it, or try to slap some sort of new name on it to give it something, or give us a reason to have to go watch Endgame again just because you have stuff you forgot to tell us, whatever. You know, whatever your gimmick is, it's unnecessary, it feels. Because it's still you're still gonna make the money.
And you know what's funny? I was I heard John Campea say this. I heard him say this on his show recently that he's gonna turn right around after seeing Avengers Doomsday and see Dune 3. And he is
Oh,
not the
yeah.
only person in the world who's gonna literally do that. When that weekend comes, Saturday may be Doomsday,
Mhm.
but Sunday is Dune's day, whatever. Dune 3 day. So, like, both of these movies are gonna be neck and neck when it comes to the financial
Yeah.
aspect of them. So,
Our
it's
local
just
drive-in theater plays 2 movies at once.
yeah,
After we go see Doomsday in probably IMAX or whatever the heck we go see it in,
yeah,
I'm gonna probably go there and watch Doomsday again and Dune right after it in the same
yep,
screen because
yeah.
that's just how it works, like
Yeah, that's true. Cause I mean, our local drive-in, they close during the winter because 'cause we're in
right.
Western New York, guys, we get blizzards. But when they reopen back up before the hot movies really start rolling out, they play some of those movies that they couldn't
Mhm.
play during the winter,
They do.
and mm, I am I will be shocked if they don't play these 2 movies back to back just
Yeah.
because guaranteed money making
Yeah, they've already
still.
announced they've already announced they're gonna play Endgame and Infinity War and Endgame towards the end of the year anyway to get
Oh,
so that might be a great double feature to go to the drive-in, some
that'd be
night.
awesome.
But that's how we deal with it, right, guys? Like, we're gonna see it. It's just everyone's gonna go watch it. You could play it on a tiny screen, and people are gonna come see your movie. They wanna see it, so
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, what do you think about this sorry, I almost said Star Wars. That's what my
jeez.
brain's going to when I looked at Secret Wars.
Oh, no, don't let's not go
Don't
there.
come at me. Um,
Stupid Jedi.
Secret Wars secures IMAX. Secret Wars secures IMAX screens for 2027. So, yippee, Marvel, you got it. Disney, you got it. So, what do you guys think of our thoughts when
Yeah.
it comes to the Doomsday, IMAX debacle and Infinity Vision? And what do you think about? Are you gonna go see Secret Wars in IMAX? Who knows? Now you have that option, or Doomsday you don't. So there you go. Questions for you guys. All right. So the next topic we're going to talk about on our news of the week is Wonder Man Season 2. Sounds like it's going to be a ways away from actually filming and being released, guys.
Mm,
So after Disney greenlit Wonder Man Season 2, the scheduling will have some conflicts per Yahya Abdul Mateen. I love his name, by the way. I think
it's a tough one, but it's a fun one once you get it.
it
Yeah.
is yeah. Okay. Um, he says it's due to some committed engagements for him and Destin Daniel Cretton. So, um, apparently, they have already some stuff that they've personally been committed to do, both of them. Destin Daniel Cretton right now is currently focusing on the promotion for Spider-Man Brand New Day
That's right. Yep.
that's happening at the moment. I know that he also is set to write and direct a Nataro film.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know how recent that was announced, but also he has continuously been talking about, and it sounds like they actually are going to be doing a Shang-Chi 2. Finally, it's taken them for a long time, but it sounds like he says that is one of his next projects. So, and Yaya said he's got all these different things going on to himself. Um, and I think I'll just give my 2 cents before I pass over to my brother Ike to give his 2 cents. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that they were expecting Wonder Man to be as well as it was.
Mm,
In my opinion, because as we talked about when we did our multiverse minute one time announcing that Wonder Man was getting second season. That was only like I think the third show to ever get a second season from Disney, from Marvel in particular, I would say. I think it was just really well received, and I think even Yaya even said this that it was um they were surprised at how well it did, where they immediately greenlit it, so they weren't ready. They just weren't they knew they had ideas for season 2, but everyone has an idea for continuing their franchise along or their story along, but not always do they get the green light, and especially for this one, they got the green light, like, as the finale was being premiered, I believe, so there was like, "Okay, we got it," but now, as he recently said in an interview, um it might be a ways away
mm,
because nothing's written. They're just
yeah.
not ready yet. So what are your thoughts like?
So I'm gonna be brief on this, guys, because I like the show. It's a lot of fun, and I could see a season 2 being made. But this is the kind of stuff I want Disney to pump the brakes on anyways. Let's get past Secret Wars, get some announced new stuff coming. Let's see the I would care. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see any TV stuff until after we get the first X-Men movie. Like, I know it's not going to happen. We're going to probably get stuff sooner, but don't hurry it. If there's nothing written and nothing's ready anyways, then just don't. Cool, you're telling us you want to do it. This to me is almost a no news until it's news. This actor is kind of hot right now. He's going to be doing a lot of stuff. So give it time, make it good, make it worth it,
Mhm,
make it clear if it's important for the timeline of going forward for the Marvel stuff, like canon. If to me that's my only concern is I could care they could do 30 of these seasons if they want. But I just want to know what it means and if it means anything. Because if it doesn't, then bring it and it's fine. Do it whenever. But don't rush it. Take the James Gunn approach, guys. If it's not ready, it's just not ready.
mhm,
If you can't get the cast together right away, you just can't get them together. Don't rush this thing, because that's the problem with 90% of your other stuff is I felt like you rushed. And that's why we got some of the stuff that we have some issues with. So to me, it's simple. It's cool. I'm glad you want to. I don't know personally if this show was the show I was hoping to get a second season to, I guess. I mean, it's good,
mhm,
but I don't know. I think there could be other things you could venture into. It, like I said, it all brings into question the restructuring of their TV versus their movies and what they're going to do after Secret Wars is what I'm more concerned about. And that's where this is going to fall in. And so let's see what that means when we get there. If they say these are all completely separate stories and you don't need to watch them at all, for sure, nail in the coffin, that's the final answer. I'll still be excited to watch it. And if they say you do got to see it, then I'll still watch the season 2 of this because it was good. I just need, it's just hard to get excited for something that I'm still kind of very confused about how to feel.
mhm,
And because I don't, like I said, it's got to be good to get my attention. I got other shows I'm watching that are better than what they're putting out, you know. Um, Daredevil's been the exception because we cover it on the show, but there are other shows I've put to the side to watch it. And that's not being mean. It's just that to me, the quality of TV show, you gotta be up there, and that's why I get so hard on it, and
mhm.
I don't want to sound like I'm, beating the bush with it, but it does feel that way sometimes. So yeah, make it good. Whatever it's gonna be, take your time. I'm fine with this news. To me it's a no news kind of thing.
There are two things.
Almost.
There are two things for me that kind of stick out with this whole thing of Wonder Man season 2. First off, they ended season 1 really, really well.
Hmm.
And honestly, it was one of my favorite episodes. But one of the things I liked about it is that you definitely can tell more of a story, but there wasn't a cliffhanger. There
Mhm.
wasn't a need for you to have to go and do a second season.
It could just be done.
It could be done,
Yeah.
and you could now incorporate him into the theatrical MCU, and this was irrelevant stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I actually like it. This is kind of, in my view, what Disney Plus was supposed to be for the Marvel shows.
Mm.
You give a little bit of an extra story to a character, but you didn't. You could put this guy in Doomsday or in Secret Wars. And there's no need to watch this show because there's nothing big enough in this show to make it where, oh, you have to touch upon it in the movies. You could just add him in there, give him a 2-second origin talk about I'm a struggling actor from LA and I'm a superhero now, guys. That's it. That's
Yeah.
simply it. All you have to do. That was how great this show was. One of the so there's that. And then the second piece to that that came in my brain is if Kevin Feige is intending for the shows moving forward after Vision Quest to not be tied into the theatrical versions of the shows, what does that say about Wonder Man Season 2? Are you eventually going to bring Wonder Man into the movies, but yet you're still wanting to do a Season 2 of the show? So are you going to do another, no offense, irrelevant season
Mm,
because
mm,
you're keeping your promise that we don't need to watch season 2 in order to get when his next movie is going to be his appearance in the movie is going to be. And you can do that. Like I said, season 1, you did that. You did that really well. People liked it and you did a clean cut where you didn't have to watch it if you put them into the movies. But going forward with a season 2, are you going to be able to maintain that while still upping the stakes from season 1 to season 2? But not making it too much where, okay, now you have to talk about in the movie, which is the biggest gripe we've had forever
yeah,
since they
for a long
started
time.
this. So that's my
Yeah,
my 2 thoughts about
I think the litmus test this is going to be Spider-Man because we've had characters show up in the movies from the TV shows ish, like here and there. There's a little bit to it. But I think Spider-Man having Punisher being so front and center as one of the side characters is going to be that test of how much about him do you need to know in order to watch Spider-Man. You know, um, I think that that's going to be a tightrope that they're going to walk, and I think they're afraid of this.
Mm,
I think that's why they've been like this. I mean, instead of just doing a show for a character and then introducing them in a movie, then the people say, "Man, that character was kind of neat. I wonder what there is to this guy. Oh wait, I can go back and watch a whole season of something about him."
mhm,
And then you get all the fun little Easter eggs there and have a good time with it, but it didn't matter what happens in the movie.
yeah,
I mean, is that how it's going to be with Punisher and Spider-Man? We don't know.
mhm,
It's you could be in a spot where, wait a minute, am I missing something here? And they've already kind of made that mistake with Wanda in
mhm,
Doctor Strange, where it's like that's where it gets unclear to me. And
mhm.
that's where I'm hoping they put an end to and fix going forward.
Yeah, that's to your point there. That's what we were promised from Kevin Feige in
Correct.
the very beginning of all this. This is just an extension, and he literally said of those secondary characters that may not be qualified enough, quote unquote, to get a theatrical film on their stories, but you
Mhm.
want to see more of their stories because the comics, of course, tell everybody about everything. Um, then that's what Disney Plus was supposed to be. Their mistake was they relied on the audience having to watch Disney Plus in order to watch the movies.
Mhm.
And that is where Kevin Feige again addressed having homework in order to watch your movies. And that's what we don't want anymore. We've all been saying that
Mhm.
the greediness to Disney itself, and I'm not blaming Kevin Feige specifically on this because I think the change of hands in Disney as the CEO at that time and the demand that even Kevin Feige said was placed on him and other departments within Disney of pump out as much Disney Plus content, I think they kind of didn't have a choice.
Mm, mm,
And I think that they were just trying to be a team player and doing the best they could. But now you got your reins back.
mhm.
So dial it back, do the quality versus quantity, and we'll see. We're
Yep,
gonna see how this goes. So question is for you guys now. Wonder Man season 2, we are gonna get it. Do we need to have it? And when do you think we're gonna get it? Because it might be 2 years, not 1 year like Daredevil's doing. So,
right.
guys, questions for you. Leave it in the comments and let us know your thoughts. All right. Ike,
All right,
take away
guys.
our final topic.
Our final topic today, guys, is Mortal Kombat 2.
Mm,
Us two Goodell brothers went and saw the new Mortal Kombat 2 movie literally last night.
mm.
And yeah, let's talk about it. By the way, I went and got myself this guy right here. Hopefully that shows up on the screen just enough. So you can see that there.
There you go.
It's an awesome popcorn helmet thing. It's really cool because his head opens. It's really neat. Yeah, it's a
It's kind of meta because of what happens to him in the movie.
100%.
So
Yeah.
spoiler alert, by the way.
Mhm.
By the time this episode gets released, the movie is still going to be fresh in the theaters
Mhm.
on this multiverse minute. So spoiler warning, major spoiler warning. You heard it one more time. Spoiler
Yeah.
warning. We're getting into it. Let's finish it.
Yeah, this movie's awesome.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
after sleeping on it, it's cheesy, it's bad, but it's not bad. It's like, it's exactly what I think Mortal Kombat should be. And it I'm just gonna go right off and go on my little thing about it real quick with it because I got to tell you, first of all, this guy here, Shao Kahn, holy cow, he's awesome.
Oh my.
Like I want a statue of him.
Mm.
Oh my god, his every second he's on screen, you're like, oh, what can happen? He can do. They made sure that nobody's safe in this movie, guys. People die.
He
Like
is
people
intimidating.
die. He is. His voice, his presence, his goal, he was not a mustache twirling villain. He wasn't, he's going to get it done and they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat on the tournament because that's what the bad guys do in all the games, all that stuff. And it's great. And I got to tell you, the fighting in this movie is spectacular. It is spectacular. I got to do a shout out to, there's a fight in this movie between Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Oh my lord. It's one of the most entertaining scenes of action that I've probably seen in the last 10 or 15 years. The rest of this movie could have been dog shit. And that scene right there made it worth it. What an amazing scene. Just using the moves. It was an emotional scene. Liu Kang knew he was going to win,
I love the moves. It's exactly what you'd picture from the video games.
Oh
They
my
did it and
God.
it didn't turn out cheesy. It just looked like a natural part of them.
When he throws that hat and then teleports outside of the hat and then kicks him in the head, what are we looking at? Like, I was just like, wow. I'm sure Sammy heard me audibly a couple times go, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And when the back portal behind them is blue, with that beautiful blue, and then it turns like a deep red at one point, and it's like, what an amazing theatrical experience. And this movie does this several times. Now, it's got moments where you're like, oh my God, this dialogue sucks. And you're the really low dip moments where you realize, okay, this movie's not, if you're looking for Shakespeare and you're looking for Lord of the Rings meets Mortal Kombat, you're not getting it, guys. But that's not what you want, I promise you.
No.
Go watch. Three of us were in this movie, and then two people joined like partway through the beginning.
Yeah.
So the whole theater opening night last night was nobody's there.
Which blew my mind.
Yeah, and it's
So,
like I
come
hope
on,
that's
guys.
not going on across the country. I hope it's just because it was rinky-dink little Warsaw, New York. You know what I mean? Because I got to tell you guys, you're missing out. Like this movie's a lot of fun. Like they kill characters, though, and you know what this movie does? What a sequel does that rarely ever happens. It only happens, I can think of maybe once or twice. Maybe the best example I have is Terminator and Terminator 2, where the sequel makes the first one better. So if you don't like the first movie or you were disappointed by it, this movie not only is better, but it'll make you feel better about the first movie. And to me, that's a big deal because that first movie had some faults, had some issues. And my most favorite part about it is they took like Cole Young from the first movie. No one really liked him. They all complained of the character from the game and, oh, you focused on it and whatever. And then in this movie, though, you are almost like, oh, I actually like him now. And he dies real quick.
Yeah.
Like he's like one of the first fights that happens that he dies, but the way he dies and how he dies and why he dies. Guys, he beats Shao Kahn. Like, I mean, this is spoiler talk, y'all. He wins that fight. But because Shao Kahn's cheating, he kills him.
Oh.
And you're like, wait a minute,
something.
he actually won? Like,
Yeah.
And at the end, you notice when they do a cool thing at the end where the music's playing and as the character name comes up, they say the name of the character in the Mortal Kombat fashion, like Scorpion.
Yeah.
You notice they did Cole Young, like Cole Young. And I'm like, I hope the next video game comes out and he's a character in the game.
Yes. I mean, that's a missed opportunity.
They better. And you know what? Justice for Cole Young. I wanted to coming back. I want to see him in the third one. I don't care what y'all say. You can hate on that first one all you want. Watch this movie and look at it through the guise of that first movie was an introduction into this world.
Yep.
And now this movie was like, we don't need to introduce you no more. So we're just going to get started right now. And that's what it does. It hits the pedal. And other than maybe taking a couple pit stops here and there to change the tires, it goes 100 miles an hour right to the end of the movie.
Oh, yes. It
Yeah.
is action from beginning to end.
Yeah.
There is dialogue, of course. Not always the best dialogue, but
Right.
it's just enough of a story exposition so you know what's happening
Hmm.
next. And then it's right on to the next battle. And it is so cool, I will say, as for one of the hardest parts of adapting a video game into a consistent, cohesive movie is how, especially a fighting game like Mortal Kombat, is how do you make it where these random characters start fighting each other without forcing them to get together type thing.
Yes.
They do this so well. They treat it like a video game, but it's not corny.
Oh, it's like
It's
watching people
perfect
play the
when they
video game.
glow up and they're like, "Oh, I guess you're chosen," and then they just teleport away, and
Yeah.
then they arrive, and guys, where they go to fight,
Oh,
you
right out of the game.
right out of the game. You pick any battlefield you see in the Mortal Kombat games, in particular Mortal Kombat 11, which is my personal favorite Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat game, and they definitely nail the tone of that game in this movie, like to a T. And I tell you, the scenes, like what we just talked about with
Yeah.
Shao Kahn versus Cole Young,
Yeah.
that whole, it's just
The acid area with the
it's the
yeah.
green acid, you guys know it, they had it in the 2D, then they brought it back in the recent games. Now you get a cinematic version of
Oh
it,
my
and it
lord.
looks just as cool as you
Yeah.
can imagine, and then when they pan out, showing them getting ready to fight, it looks like the actual video game where you're panning out, and then it cuts,
Yeah.
because, of course, they're doing fighting and they're filming it like a movie, but, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it is so good.
Spectacular.
If you like watching the Mortal Kombat cutscenes of the video games, you will love this movie because it's exactly that feeling of watching them be like, "Oh, what's happening next? I can't wait to play as this character." And you're basically doing it without holding a controller. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. And each death is earned. Each death is
Yes.
felt.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, oh wow, there's not one death in this I feel is a throwaway.
Mhm.
There's like things that happen in it where when Jax dies, oh my god, you feel the pain of
Mhm.
what's going on in that situation, and even when Liu Kang dies, it's almost like he doesn't die. Yeah, by the way, guys, Liu Kang dies. Like this movie. It takes the chances.
Does he though?
But that's just it. He
It's
does. But
you
I think
it looks like it, but then at the same time you can make the argument of he just had a revelation that it's not supposed to be him, so he just flies away?
he literally says, "Lord Raiden told me I wasn't the chosen one."
Yeah.
It's like he kind of knew. Yeah, no, I think that I think he dies, but I think it's like I think he understood that there was more to death than just dying. And there's things that we don't know yet, which is why we're getting guys. Clearly, they want to do a third. Very
Mhm.
clearly, this ends with
Oh, yeah.
wanting to do a third. And please go watch this because I want a third so darn bad. It is.
Mhm.
It really. Yeah, it's interesting. He does die, but he doesn't die. Right? Like
Yeah.
his death is probably the one that makes you go, "Oh wow, that was interesting." I feel sad that he died, but
It's kind of
did he just die or did he not die?
it's
Like,
your own interpretation, and that won't
yeah.
be answered unless you guys watch this movie and we see a third one.
And
So please
yeah,
do.
and what's
Yeah.
unique is the deaths. Like, yeah, this is a universe where if you die, you can still be brought back to life, and they really touch on that in this movie. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. You get brought back to life.
Yeah, well,
You could come back as a zombie like they have in some of the games, and that's not a good person. We could get Liu Kang in the next one as a bad guy. It's why Kung
and
Lao's bad in
that
this
was
one.
like that in the video games. That is
It
very
is.
accurate.
It is.
So anyone
Yeah.
who says, "Oh, this is not like the game," watch this movie. It is like
It's
the game.
100%. In fact, like I told you last night, the one thing I was going to make sure to tell all you folks out there watching is this now. Anyone that says, well, man, they weren't true to the game, this movie is 100% true to the game.
Yes.
There's none of your, I don't want to hear anyone out there saying,
Well
yeah, it's not
done,
like the
too.
game. You get out of here.
Mm.
Get out of here. If we get Street Fighters half as good as this, then we got great action movies this summer. Fantastic. Because this movie really, and Carl Urban, guys,
Uh,
Carl Urban does this thing where he does this many times. He did it in Lord of the Rings. He did it as Judge Dredd in Dredd. He did it as Hank McCoy in Star Trek. And he did it in this movie, where at first you're almost like, does this guy overact on purpose? because sometimes he overacts and you're like, boy, he's cheesy. But then, like, after a few moments, though, you're like, oh no, that's his magic sauce.
Mhm.
Like when you watch him, especially in Star Trek, you're almost like, are you trying too hard? And then you get about 10 minutes into the movie and you're like, oh no, I love this guy. This
Mhm.
is completely believable.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Johnny Cage's. At first, you're almost like, boy, I hope he doesn't feel like this the whole time, but he does, and you realize it's exactly what it should be. You
Mhm.
know, Carl Urban is an underestimated actor out there. I I know he's a little older, and that's been a big complaint with this, but guys, the
Oh,
second best fight in this movie is
but they
between him
use
and
that
Baraka.
too, which is perfect.
They use it 100%, yeah, and
Oh.
he uses it himself,
Mhm.
understands that very much so, and that second best fight is between him and Baraka.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
that sequence.
Yeah.
And I like that Baraka's not just some mindless, dumb creator that fights.
Oh,
Like
he's
it's like a
so
clan,
good.
and he's like very Viking like he
Yep.
likes him because he's a good fighter.
Mhm.
It's so awesome, and yeah, guys, there's some CGI in this that's a little wacky, but
But it's not too
who
distracting.
cares?
I actually
Yeah,
liked how they did him. And one
yeah,
thing I'll say about Johnny Cage is I am a massive fan of the Mortal Kombat video games, like
mhm,
really big, massive fan. When the new ones come out, I do play them and everything. I have not liked Johnny Cage in the video games, and I had to look through all the characters. Carl Urban, the moment you see him to the very end, I want more of him.
mhm,
He is a standout character for
mhm,
me of the whole movie. There's a reason why the marketing was pushed for him because he's got something that supersedes what the video game character is
yeah.
like, and it is so good. It's so good.
That's what happens when you have such a good actor. I mean, when he did Dread, he literally doesn't take his helmet off the entire movie. All you see is his nose down. You
Mm,
can't even claim that he did great acting with his eyes in Dread. It's his mannerisms and the way he talked and how he said things and the way he moved is what had to be good in Dread, and it made Dread. I'm going to do it on one of my things, Dark Dementia. I know it's not a horror movie, but it's one that needs to be talked about because it is amazing. But yeah, he is just as Johnny Cage. What a he's still got that cockiness about him that it's like, but it's not the same kind of cockiness.
mhm,
It's almost like he has to find it again like you need to be cocky in order to win, you
mhm.
know? And I like how they bring Kano back and Kano's twists and everything he does is selfish. And it's great because he's kind of a good guy this time, but only because he's selfish. It's not because he's a good guy. It's because he sees what Outworld, what they would do if they won. And it's
Yeah.
just a bunch of what he says, a bunch of poor, sad people with dirt and bones.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
goes, no, I want strippers and cocaine, and I don't want to live that way. I want to live the way I lived back on, on Earth.
I tell you,
Yeah.
Kano was a highlight in the first
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat movie because of how well how funny his lines were and how well delivered they were, and they recognized that and they
Yeah.
amped it up in a good way in the second movie. And I want to say my favorite line of the movie isn't from him, but it's about him with Quan
Oh,
Chi.
yeah,
Now
that's right.
Quan Chi, he is so accurate to the video games. It's creepy. It's a good creepy. It was unexpected for me as I'm watching the movie. Then it gets to this dark scene, and there he is, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they have him in this movie! I didn't even think they were gonna have him in this
Yeah,
movie,
it's wild.
and he is there." I love how he's turning the fallen characters into revenants, and he doesn't make him into a revenant. And he's his exact words. I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't have it completely memorized. Only saw it one time, guys. But his words were, "There's not much there, anyways."
Yeah, his soul. There wasn't much of his soul to change.
There's not that
Like,
much of a soul to change,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I laughed so hard. I'm like, "That is so good." And
Especially since Kano was proud of it. He's like,
yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's like, "Yeah,
that's me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Give me an eye. I want an eye.
Yeah.
Oh, give me another one."
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
fantastic. Yeah.
And I liked Kano in this movie
Mhm.
more in the first movie. It was so good.
And Sonya Blade was one of the ones in the first one I was a little iffy about. I love her in this one. She's
Mm,
fantastic.
mhm.
And Katana, what a badass. Like,
Oh.
man, I'm glad she's the one that killed Shao Kahn.
Oh,
But that is
yes.
a storyline that needed to be seen through, and it was. And
Mhm.
I like the end where she says, It's time to show you for who you really are to everybody, and
Yep.
that you're mortal."
Yep.
Because he's been cheating this whole time,
Yep.
and don't get me wrong, guys, Shao Kahn is awesome.
He is
He
awesome.
is one of the coolest. And Raiden had good moments, and I mean the whole movie. Like I said, it's it's not Shakespeare. It's not perfect. It's not but it is good though, and
Mhm.
it's a must see. Like you guys go watch this. We want to see a third one, so
Yeah, we do.
yeah,
So,
go
yeah,
watch this movie. I'm
we're
going to be going to the drive-in to see it.
yeah,
Whatever it's playing with.
yeah.
I hope
So
it's a double feature with that and Street Fighter. That'd be fun because
Yeah.
Street Fighter, I think, is going to do the same thing. I have a
So
feeling.
out of 1 out of 10, 10 being the best and 1 being super, super lame, what would you give Mortal Kombat to?
See, this is tough because I can't say a 9 because that'd be like saying it's like Shawshank good, right? But in its genre, in like what it's for, this movie's a easy solid 6. Like
Mhm.
if I had to be practical about it, but here's my problem. This is the issue I have because it's not perfect, so I can't give it that high of a number. But it is going to be a rewatchable. And
Oh,
and that's
I
that's where it gets a high number for me. So personally, this is on my giddy nerdy. It's an 8 out of 10.
that was my score, 8
But
out of
for
10.
a practical movie, guys, yeah, it's a 6. Okay, it's not the best, but it's not bad either. So I try to be very honest about that because it's tough. Because is it Interstellar good? Hell no. That's a different kind of realm of movie. This is not that kind of movie. This is not that. This is like Tremors, guys. This is like something that you're going to just like.
It's gonna be a classic, he means, so you better watch it.
Yeah, if anything, I gotta be honest with you, it reminds me of the first one, but better. And, like, if you love the first one because it's nostalgic to you, this one's gonna feel the same way, in my opinion. Just
Yeah.
the opening credits with the title, the title cards were like I even said to you out loud, I'm like, "Oh, that looks like the writing from the and the color
It was
scheme of the first movie." It's amazing, like,
mm,
yeah, it really is, like, it's just timeless, in my opinion. This movie's an easy movie I'm gonna throw on just to throw on. It's gonna be an easy watch just to watch anytime.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna watch it several times. It's gonna be in that repertoire of movies that I watch a bunch. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I my own personal taste, it's an 8 out of 10, but practicality, it's a 6, okay?
And
So,
if there's a character in the first movie or the second movie that dies that was your favorite personal character from the game, don't get too upset about it because they really hint at the very end of this, let's go bring back all of our friends. And
yeah.
so, which means I know that there's this cliche when it comes to superhero movies of no one's ever dead. But in Mortal Kombat, no one is ever truly dead because come on, they can't keep doing the video games and killing your favorite characters the way that it's iconically you kill these characters in the games
Yeah.
without there being a way to revisit them later. And they did, and Kung Lao is a great example in this movie how he died in the first one, and then how you see him in the second one. And I can't wait to see how he's gonna be like in the third one.
Yeah, I agree.
Characters like Sindel was one of my personal favorites. I understood they weren't gonna make her front and center because Katana is the more front and center character. I get it, but part of me is like, and you see this in the movie when she dies, and she dies a gruesome death from Sonya. Really well done, delivered death. And then I literally looked at Ike and I said, "Wait a minute, I thought she just died." And they explain to you. They don't just skip over it and make you think like it's a video game, like, "Oh well, her death didn't matter." They explain to you why she's brought back and her limitations with the mask on at that point of being stitched back together. And so you get to see these characters again if you want to. But
Yeah.
the only way you're going to see them again, guys, if you go to the movies,
Yeah.
give them that the box office numbers that they need so they can say, "Let's greenlight a third
Yeah,
movie."
it's smart the way they do that too because the death there's repercussions to the death.
Yeah.
So sure, they do come back to life, but there's more to it than
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's like there's consequences, and that's unique.
Mhm.
Kano's the only exception, but they made that kind of a joke,
Yeah.
which actually fit though because you need that kind of a comedy joke in it, and
Yeah.
and it speaks to Kano's character because he's gonna backstab for anybody. He's a
Mhm.
good he's his own, which is what I like about him. He's not on
Mhm.
anyone's side. He's out for himself, and it works.
And that's one of the things that I can't wait if they do a third movie, just to see if any of these Revenant characters that died came back as evil, and then they bring them back. I, I don't know. I know in the games they don't really remember the Revenant itself and all that stuff, but part of me wonders if there's anything there that they do remember,
Yeah,
and it becomes part of them as haunting them of what they could do bad
that could make some
type
really
thing.
unique storylines.
Great storytelling right
Yeah,
there, if they were able to do that and go that extra mile, like with a character like Kung
yeah.
Lao or Sindel. So,
Yeah, and
guys
it's funny you say that. I actually kind of wanted before you said something a second ago. I want to, for a fun little caveat at the end of all this, the superhero thing where in superhero movies nobody really dies. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I agree with that sentiment when it comes down to the MCU. I think that's one thing they've done real well with
mhm,
is people are dead and they're dead. I can't think of a character they brought back to life
that's true.
and not in a good way. Actually, the only one I can think of they brought back to life isn't even human.
Oh, Vision?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there who else have they actually brought back to life?
and to be honest, in all practicality, Vision is a robot, so
Yeah.
he never really can die and
Right.
all that stuff. Like, you just bring him back online. There you go.
So, and
So
I know Campia says this a lot, and I'm calling you out, John. So put in the comments. He says a lot, the Marvel Universe, which is a fake death universe. I want you to tell me what fake death you're talking about because I can't think of one right now off the top of my head, other than Vision. But that makes sense because it's a robot.
it's a robot,
But
yeah.
what deaths are we talking about in the MCU where they're coming back? None.
Like, even Loki, he didn't technically die when I came like, he died in Infinity War, but the point of Endgame and the making of his show was that it's still Loki, he turns into a
Yeah,
variant
because that Loki
and
died.
back.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
Loki's dead.
that Loki actually did die.
Yeah, the other was all deception.
Yep.
That doesn't count.
Variants don't count, guys, as bring it's we're actually talking about bringing a character back to life.
Right.
And
And I haven't seen it yet in the MCU. So I challenge you guys, put it in the
yeah,
comments. Name and leave the TV shows out of it because maybe that's where I'm missing it. But if you leave the TV shows out of it, I would love you to pick one time they brought a character back to life just because they can. Because
well,
I don't think there is one.
even in the TV shows, the only one that I would say that comes
Is
close to the controversial one is Kingpin, because at the end of Hawkeye, he gets shot by Echo, and then he appears in Echo with a scar, and now you don't really see the scar too much,
yeah.
but it's easy to fix a scar nowadays, guys. Come on. So it,
You just say you survived it. Yeah.
that's the thing. They left it so open ended. Anyone you would thought, okay, they're dead. But remember, guys, this is Kingpin. And when we get into our branch point breakdown, there are some things that he does in this episode that no normal guy would be doing. So
Yeah.
it makes sense if he could survive a shot to the head,
Yeah. So
honestly.
I don't know. I just thought that'd be fun to point out. Like,
Yeah.
hey, before we call them that, let's realize that this day hasn't happened yet. So the only one that's ever happened close enough, and he's not really in the movies yet, is Xavier. But that was during the X-Men stuff. It wasn't, and that was them fixing that terrible #3 movie.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to pretend he didn't die in #3. So just saying everyone was fine was just that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, the MCU has been very true to like their ending to any characters, in my opinion.
Hmm.
They've been very solid and true. You can argue Gamora because no, it's not the same Gamora.
Yep.
It's yeah, okay. I guess the argument is, see, they still don't get rid of him, but it's part of the story, and it fits because it's not the same Gamora. It's not the same,
Now,
of
if
these
they
people.
if they did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and they kept the continuity of Gamora that you saw in Infinity War with Guardians 3 on everything is the same of their love story together, you can say, yes, they brought a character back from the dead type thing because
Yeah,
it wouldn't make sense. But
but
they didn't.
they actually went the opposite way and made sure she made it clear to him this isn't happening.
Yeah, that was his whole point in the movie
Yeah,
in that one
was
is
dealing
I'm
with a
not your
different Gamora.
Gamora.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, just challenge y'all. So let's hear
All right, guys, questions for you. Did you watch Mortal Kombat 2 yet? What are you waiting for if you haven't watched Mortal Kombat 2?
it.
We want you to go watch it. Come back to this episode that we're doing.
Go watch it again.
Yeah, go watch it. Comment. Tell us what your reviews are. Tell us what your score will be 1 to 10 on the movie. Be honest about it. Get the conversation going. And
Yeah,
most importantly, go see it so we can see more.
yeah.
All right. Get over here. I'm just kidding. So that's how we should introduce our next segment, guys. We're gonna get into the rumor mill rundown. Get over here.